Okay, good morning children. In our previous classes, we were doing about the Naxal movement. We did about the causes of its rise, very important. It's there in your syllabus. Okay, now in the Zoom class, I told you something about the main leaders of the movement like Charu Mazumdar, okay, Kanu Sanyal. About Charu Mazumdar, I told you, okay, he was a greatest leader who was born in 1918 in Siliguri. His father was too a freedom fighter. Another important leader of that movement was Naxal movement of 1967 was Kanu Sanyal, born in the year 1932. He was one of the founder members of the Communist Party of India, Marxist, okay, which was formed in the year 1969. Now, today I am just going to explain you about the steps taken by the government to suppress this movement called Naxal movement. Let's see, government measures against the movement. Okay. After the Naxalbari movement, the political party realized the emergence of new force. Okay, see, as you know very well, Naxalbari movement, you know very the most important aim of this movement was to redistribute the land to the landless peasants. Okay, the main cause, try to understand, the main cause for the conflict of this movement, okay, was non-implementation of the provision which was been written in the in the 5th and the 9th schedule. Is it clear? The government did not implement the provision which was written in the 5th and the 9th schedule of the Indian Constitution. That is the reason why most of the peasants, most of the people, they became very angry with the government and they started the movement against the government. Now, after that Naxalbari movement, okay, most of the political party, they realized that a new force should be there. There should be an emergence of new force. The new force should come here. At the same time, the government became conscious of a new threat, not only to law and order, but to the very existence of the democratic structure of the country. See, now, as you know, after Naxalbari movement, okay, the political party, they really realized, yes, now we are in need of a new force. A new solid force should be there, according to which we can fight against, we can protest against the government. Whereas in the other hand side, at the same time, government also started thinking, or government also became very, very conscious that yes, now a new danger had started, not only to the law and order, but also for the democratic structure of the country. So now the government also realized, okay, they were very much conscious about the situation, okay, it is not only the danger, this new force which is coming, it is not only a threatening towards to the law and order, but also it may damage the democratic structure of the country. So very soon the government, the central government organized joint operations with the army and the police in the bordering districts of West Bengal, Bihar and Odisha, which were particularly affected by the Naxalite movement. So please, dear children, please understand, this was the most important states which were highly affected by the Naxalite movement. The district of West Bengal, the districts of Bihar and the district of Odisha. So the central government organized a joint operation along with the army and the police, and they started monitoring in most of the bordering districts of West Bengal, bordering districts of Bihar and Odisha, because these were the most important districts which were highly affected by the Naxalite movement. The operations were undertaken from July to August 1971. Try to understand. Now the government had already taken an initiative to suppress this movement, to stop this movement, to control this movement. So this operation was been started from July till the month of August in the year 1971. All the suspected Naxalites were arrested. Is it clear? Whoever they think, okay, yes, this particular person has been suspected, he is involved in the movement, he has been involved in the movement, protesting against the government, so that particular person will be immediately arrested. Is it clear? Whoever the suspected Naxalites, they think, okay, he is a Naxalite and he is going against the government, he was immediately arrested. Illicit weapons, ammunition and explosives seized. See, the weapons, the destructive weapons which was being used by these Naxalites, okay, the destructive weapons, the ammunitions, the explosive bombs and all, which was being utilized by these Naxalites, these all were being completely seized by the government. Wherever possible, simultaneous action was taken in neighboring areas. See, wherever possible, okay, wherever they found such a movement is being started by the Naxalites, in that area, the action was being immediately taken by the government. Let's see which are the area the operation covered. This operation covered Midnapur, Purulia, Bardhaman and Birbhum district of West Bengal. Try to understand. Midnapur, Purulia, Bardhaman and Birbhum district of West Bengal, Singhbhum, Dhanbad and Santhal Parganas of Bihar and Marbhanj of Odisha. These were the areas where the operation was been completely taken up by the government in joint operation by the army as well as the police. The operation achieved desired results. See, whatever they thought, whatever the government thought, okay, so that desired result was being achieved by this operation, but not to the extent anticipated by the administration. But whatever expectation was there, whatever the expectation was being there of the administration, till that expectation they could not reach, but at least certain they could achieve a certain results in this operation. In the meantime, Charu Mazumdar was arrested and few days later he died. His death marked the end of a phase in the Naxalite movement. Okay, see, try to understand. In that time only, in the operation made by government, okay, in collaboration with army as well as police, in this operation, the greatest leader of this Naxalite movement, named as Charu Mazumdar, was been arrested. Okay, after he was been arrested, after a few days, he died. His death marked the end of phase in the Naxalite movement. So the moment Charu Mazumdar died, that brought the Naxalite movement to the end. But remember, the movement did not die out. Though for a certain period of time, okay, the action of these Naxalites were been cooled down after their leader died, but the movement did not die out. Completely, the movement did not die. After Charu Mazumdar's death, the Naxal movement again started after the formation of People's War Group. See, after the death of Charu Mazumdar, again the Naxalite movement started and they formed a group which is known as the People's War Group. So this People's War Group was been formed after the death of Charu Mazumdar. So that means after the death of Charu Mazumdar, the Naxalite movement continued. Is it clear? The movement of the Naxalite is still going on in spite of the strong measures taken by the government. See, though the government is taking a very strong steps to crush this movement, but still in some parts of our country, in some states of our country, the Naxalite movement is still going on. It is still in operation. The Naxalite movement is still in operation, especially you can find in most of the district of West Bengal. Even today, okay, even today you may hear the news of the arrest of Naxalites. Is it clear? Got it? Okay. The factors which gave rise to the Naxalism was very much present today also. See, I've told you. Still today, even today's time, okay, there are certain factors, there are certain reasons behind why there was a rise of this Naxalism, why this Naxalite movement started. Even in today's life, in today's present life, there are certain factors. Like for example, poverty increased. Land reforms remain neglected and unemployment figures are high. See, these are some of the important factors for the rise of Naxalism. These are some of the factors why still Naxalite movement is in operation. Poverty increased. In today's, you can see in most of our states in India, okay, poverty is there. Is it clear? Got it? Land reforms, the land laws, okay, have been neglected. There had not been made any changes in the land laws. Is it clear? Like which already mentioned in the 5th and the 9th schedule, okay, nothing has been done by the government and unemployment figures are very high. See, this is one of the most important reasons. Unemployment. You are not employed, you have to look after family. Then what the other alternative you have to earn for the family? Is it clear? Either You go and join the terrorists. Okay, go and join the Naxalites. Is it clear? Because you are fed up with the policy of the government. So you wanted to protest the policy of the government. So these are some of the most important factors which has really gave a rise towards to Naxalism. The tribals are getting raw deal. The government has prepared a comprehensive 14-point plan to deal with this burning problem. See, the government, government is also facing a lots and lots of problem of this Naxalite movement. So the government has already started the preparation of a 14-point plan, we call it. 14-point plan had already prepared by the government so that they can solve this burning problem of Naxalism. Is it clear? They can even, with the help of this 14-point plan, the government can deal with this burning problem. They can solve the problem of this Naxalism. So this was the most important steps, the measures which was been taken by the central government. It was a joint operation to suppress the Naxalite movement. Okay, my dear children, now I'll be moving towards to next para, that is JP movement. JP movement. Okay, JP popularly known as Jai Prakash Narayan. JP popularly known as Jai Prakash Narayan. So today we'll be moving towards to the Jai Prakash Narayan's dispute with Mrs. Indira Gandhi. Got it? So let us try to understand about the JP movement. First, its origin. See, in the year 1974, it was a very important year in the history of India because it was during this time a movement started in Gujarat. In Gujarat, one movement started which is known as Nav Nirman movement, and that movement was completely against the Gujarat government. Try to understand. Now this movement which I am talking about, the JP movement, first in Gujarat, against the Gujarat government, they started the movement called Nav Nirman movement. The Nav Nirman movement ultimately forced the government to resign from power. See, this movement, that's the reason why I am telling you, the people has got a power on their hand. So finally, this movement finally forced the Gujarat government to resign from power. Just because of the Nav Nirman movement, the Gujarat government completely resigned from the power. Similarly, in the same way, Bihar movement also started by the students in 1974. Similarly, in Bihar also, the students, they started the movement in 1974 against the Bihar government. The lead was given by a veteran Gandhian socialist, Jai Prakash Narayan, popularly known as JP, against misrule and corruption in the government of Bihar. So similarly, the students took up a movement against the Bihar government, and the leader of this movement was his name was Jai Prakash Narayan. Popularly, he is known as JP. His movement was completely against the misrule and the corruption which was been there in the Bihar government. In Bihar government, a lot of corruption was there. The administration was not good. So, to protest against that Bihar government, against the misrule and the corruption, JP, popularly known, Jai Prakash Narayan, popularly known as JP, took up the lead of this movement in Bihar. Unlike a Nav Nirman movement, political student outfits like Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad ABVP connected with the Jana Sanghya, Samajwadi Yuvan Sabha SYS connected with Samajwadi Party, and Lok Dal took up active participation. See, this movement which took place in Bihar, it was not like the Nav Nirman movement of Gujarat. Try to understand. It was not like a Nav Nirman movement of Gujarat. Here the political students, the political students took a great participation in this movement in Bihar, like Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad ABVP connected with Jana Sanghya, Samajwadi Yuvan Sabha SYS connected with Samajwadi Party, and Lok Dal. They took an active participation in this movement, and All India Students Federation AISF connected with CPI was also involved. So here most of the students organization in Bihar, most of the students organization took active part in this movement. All India Students Federation, we call it AISF, connected with CPI, was also involved in this movement. Let us start the main feature of this movement. Opposite parties, excluding Congress, called statewide strike right from 1973. See, opposition party, except Congress. The opposition party, they called a statewide strike right from 1973. Right from 1973 in Bihar, except Congress, all the opposition party, they called the statewide strike. That means whole state will be under strike. Had to observe strike. This was followed by police firing at Bhopal, the capital of Madhya Pradesh. See, in most of the state, the strike was been called. So the incident took place especially at a place called Bhopal. Bhopal is a capital of Madhya Pradesh, you know very well. The police fired, police fired at the mob. 8 youth students were killed on, try to understand, on August 17th of August 1973, when they had participated in the JP movement, the movement which was being started by Jainaran Prakash, the students had participated in that movement. On police firing, 8 youth students were being killed on 17th of August 1973. On 18th February 1974, Patna University Students Union organized convention which invited student leaders from the whole state. Thereafter, now the students would not keep quiet and stay cool, so they organized one convention, a certain type of conference on 18th of February 1974. Please remember the date. 18th February 1974, Patna University students, they organized a convention where all the student leaders from the whole state were being invited. After the invitation of all the students leader, they formed one organization which is known as Bihar Chhatra Sangharsh Samiti. Bihar Chhatra Sangharsh Samiti, BCSS, to lead the agitation. Finally, they formed one organization which is known as Bihar Chhatra Sangharsh Samiti. Now, this organization will take forward the agitation. Lalu Prasad Yadav was chosen as president, you know very well. He, in the recent years, he also been elected as the chief minister of Bihar, got it, Lalu Prasad Yadav. He was been chosen as the president of BCSS. The demands were related to education and foods in hostels. See, their most important demand, it was related with education and the supply of foods in hostel, The foods which were being supplied in hostel should be of good quality, Got it? No corruption should be made out there. So for this purpose, this organization was been formed, and this organization led the agitation in Bihar. Okay, dear children, let me end up my class out here. In our next classes, we'll do about the course of the movement of Jai Prakash Narayan movement. Okay, thank you very much.